I'm Liz Weber. I'm sitting here with some of my colleagues, Sam Silverstein, CSP, former president of NSA, Linda Keith, CSP, board member going into her second term, and Ed Robinson, CSP, board member entering his second year as a board member, and I'm entering my second year. And we're having a conversation just about what ideas or thoughts we'd like to share with incoming board members to help you prepare for your service as an NSA leader. So Sam, I'm going to kick it over to you, and as a past national president, you've got a different perspective and lots of experience. What are some thoughts that you would share with our incoming board members?
Well, I think one of the keys to being a successful board member is that you are an engaged board member. And so what I like to see is I like to see board members that engage themselves a couple of ways. One, when the board book comes out, read it then. Know what the proposals are, because you're going to have questions. Maybe there's something you don't understand, maybe there's something you disagree with, and you need to ask those questions before you get to the board meeting. If we wait till we get on the airplane to come to the board meeting, then it's too late. And if we're asking those questions in the board meeting, then it's obvious we haven't done our homework. The other thing, the other reason you want to read it ahead of time is because whether you want to support an issue or you want to go against an issue, it's important to have data, and it takes time sometimes to do the research to get that data. The worst decisions we've ever made as a board are those decisions that we made in haste and based on emotion. The best decisions we've ever made as a board are the ones we made a little more leisurely, but they were based on data and facts. So it's real important to be engaged from that standpoint. The second way that I like to see board members get engaged is to not just sit back and review proposals and vote yay or nay, but to see where the needs of the organization are and where those needs are going, and then create your own proposal. Jump into the degree that you're involved in creating a proposal and helping drive that direction. And when you build consensus and when you have relationships with other board members and you can get together and put together proposals, then you're becoming a powerful, engaged, and effective board member.
I think that's great. Yeah, great advice. And the ideas for proposals are things that are of interest to them or based on conversations we've had at the board. Something needs to get done, and so don't be afraid to go after it is what I'm hearing.
Well, absolutely. As a board member, you see what's going on in the association, and we all have our areas of interest. But when you see something that's not working, then start a dialogue amongst your fellow board members, and let's come up with a solution for that.
Right. Great. Linda, what are some thoughts that you would share with our incoming board members?
One of the interesting things about many incoming board members is they've been chapter leaders. And chapter leadership is fundamentally different than national leadership. Because at the chapter board, anything you think of, you would have to be able to do. You'd have to know who would do it, how would it be done, and if you can't figure all that out, you shouldn't even bring it up half the time.
Right.
But at the national level, we are a strategic board. Our focus is how do we create and enhance member value? That's a different question than, should we do this program or that, or how would we do it? So there is a shift in thinking to a strategic level and a much bigger picture that sometimes takes a little time to get used to, but the quicker you can make that shift, the quicker you can be an effective board member.
Right. And I think one thing that I've observed this year is the shift in timeline. As a chapter leader, we tend to think within the next 12 months, what has to happen. At the national level, we're projecting out where is this organization going 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, and beyond. So it's that more strategic, longer term shift in thinking that we're also looking at as the national level.
And some of the most effective work we have done has been something that took 2 or 3 years to tee up and make happen well.
Right.
So you need to learn a little patience too, to really get it in line so that you really are doing the best work for the association.
Yeah, great. Ed, what are some of your thoughts?
Well, I'd like to piggyback with what both Sam and Linda said, especially as it relates to doing your homework ahead of time. One of the neatest things, the best thing that I like about being a new board member is they give you all the information up front. They give you, all you have to do is your homework. A lot of time, and at the same time, if you're an ambassador for the entire membership. So if you can pretty much walk around, find out what's going on, and bring that. After 20 years of being a member, I'm still finding out new things. And what this board tries to do is become and stay relevant. So while I've been here 20 years, NSA 20 years ago and NSA today, significant different. So by being an ambassador, finding out what members are looking for, and then seeing how to project that, like you said, through not this year, but 2, 3, 5 years down the road, helps keep us relevant.
Yeah. You know, the tying into what you just said, Ed, as board members, we're some of the ambassadors. It's our responsibility to pay attention. But I think the other thing that many board members coming in don't fully appreciate is that you really are a representative of the National Speakers Association 24/7 when you are on the national board. So that means, Sam, I think you mentioned, anything that you post in social media, you have to be aware that there are going to be people out there that will, or could potentially perceive that as that's coming from the board.
Anytime you open your mouth, everyone says you're speaking for the board, whether you are or you aren't.
Right.
Or whether you say, I'm not speaking for the board right now.
You can't do that.
never
It doesn't-
happen.
there's no such
It
thing.
doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So there's work, but there's also opportunities, and it's what you make of it. But I think we all have to be honest too. It's an opportunity to network and work with some really cool people and get a chance to experience one another's expertise. I know, Linda, you and I were on a task force last year and got to see each other's skills and I think really learned to respect one another. Sam, I interviewed you during that particular project and got to learn more about you. And Ed, you and I are on a task force right now. So it provides great opportunity. And you get to socialize and network and become friends with some really smart people. So
I do have to point out, my husband taught him how to shuck oysters.
well,
That would
there you
never
go.
have happened if
Would
we
have
didn't
never-
have our board
If I hadn't been on the
experience.
board, I would have never
Never
have
shucked
learned how to
oysters.
shuck an
So
oyster.
who knew? So
Exactly.